English teacher, Part 29. As an effective teacher, you will begin your planning by writing lesson objectives that specify what learners should know or be able to do as a result of your lesson. Starting from this point, you will consider how to motivate your students to learn about a particular topic. You may choose from the different kinds of motivation, learning sets, orientations, transitions, and evaluation. In planning a lesson's development, you must take into account three domains of learning: cognitive learning, intellectual, psychomotor learning, relating to intellectual, directly physical skills, and affective learning, relating to values and attitudes. To create and maintain students' interest, you should involve them as actively as possible in your lesson delivery. Delivering a lesson involves making presentation that establish a set motivator, link that sequential paths, maintain students' attention by engaging them in activities, keep them on task, evaluate and give feedback on their task performance, provide appropriate closure, encourage them to reflect on and learn from their own performances. It also includes modeling and teaching effective people skills. You will vary your delivery through shifts in focus, directing attention, movement, sense interaction, providing experiences that call for seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, or tasting, and pausing using silence. Budgeting time and setting a mental alarm clock to allow for stimulating closure can give you and your students significant satisfaction. You can use this procedure to highlight key ideas and reinforce, synthesize, and summarize information. Planning a lesson. Prepare a lesson plan for blah 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 blah. Does planning a lesson, any lesson, seem daunting assignment? So little time to plot, so little time to plan. So many things to think of, so much classroom time to fill in. Lessons planning is a complex procedure that must take into account both teaching and learning components. For that reason, it is important that you see and understand how these components fit together. Where our figure illustrates the congruence or fit of the various elements that provide foundation for lesson planning. Identifying instructional objectives. Before you can teach a successful lesson, you must determine what you want your students to know as a result of your teaching. In other words, effective lesson planning begins with identifying instructional objectives, also referred to as instructional goals, and learning objectives. Terms that professionals, educators use to signify the knowledge or skills they wish students to acquire as a result of participating in a lesson. Since even the most skillful teachers cannot look directly into their students' minds, the most practical way of learning about the students is to identify learning objectives, is to decide what your students should be able to show you that they can do through specific behaviors and performances when they have participated in a lesson. Thus, professional teachers think of learning objectives in terms of observable student behaviors and performance, and the statements they prepare describing them are called behavioral objectives. By reflecting on the figure, you will realize that every lesson plan can be based on a careful review of the sequential objective and the procedures that help the planner to arrange and deliver lesson elements in logical order. Preparing instructional objectives. Useful instructional objectives are clear statements that specify knowledge, skills, or attitudes at the level of performance that students should be able to demonstrate as a result of instructional session.